Similar to number 1 on the review, we're asked to graph the quadratic function and find whether the graph opens up or down, the vertex, the intercepts, and the axis of symmetry. In this case, I'm going to do this for f of x equals x squared plus 2x minus 8. Functions in this form are called general form, where you have an ax squared plus a bx plus c. So let's start out by writing a equals, b equals, and c equals. Out in front of the x squared is an understood 1 for a, b is 2, and c is negative 8. The first thing we're going to do is determine if it opens up or down. That is found by looking at the number for a. A is 1, that's a positive number, and so that tells us that it's going to open up when we draw the parabola. Okay, and then next we're going to need to find the vertex. The vertex is found with the formula negative b over 2a, comma, f of negative b over 2a. So the first part of this vertex is the x-coordinate, and the second part is the y-coordinate. We'll start with the negative b over 2a. For our numbers, that would be negative 2 over 2 times 1, which would be negative 2 divided by 2, or negative 1. This is the x part of the vertex. To find the second part, the y-coordinate of the vertex, we plug in the negative 1 for x into the function. So if we do that for the function we have, that would be negative 1 squared plus 2 times negative 1 minus 8. That would be positive 1 minus 2 minus 8. And that would be equal to negative 9. So putting these two together tells us what our vertex is. It's negative 1 comma negative 9. And now the next thing we're going to find are the x-intercepts. And as we always do with graphing, to find the x-intercepts, we set y, or f of x, equal to 0. This means we're going to set the whole function equal to 0. 0 equals x squared plus 2x minus 8. And to solve for x, this is a quadratic equation that we can solve by factoring. So this is going to factor into, and if you'd like to practice your factoring skills in this situation, you may want to pause the video here, see if you can go through the steps of factoring by something like the AC method, and then come back and see if you can factor it the same as I have it here. When we factor it out, it should be x plus 4, x minus 2. And then once you factor, you take each factor, set each factor equal to 0, and solve for x. Here we can subtract the 4, x equals minus 4. Here we'll add the 2 and have x equals 2. And so our two x-intercepts are the point negative 4 comma 0 and 2 comma 0. Alright, and then lastly we find the y-intercept. And as we do in any type of graph that we draw, we set x equal to 0 to find the y-intercept. So that means plugging in 0 for x. F of 0 is 0 squared plus 2 times 0 minus 8. 0 squared is 0, 2 times 0 is 0, so this is all equal to just the negative 8. Our y-intercept is the point 0, negative 8. Okay, now we're going to put all this together to draw the picture. Alright, our x-intercepts are at the point negative 4 and positive 2. Our y-intercept is at negative 8, and our vertex is down here at the point negative 1, negative 9. Alright, and now we'll just draw our parabola down through these points, and then coming up, and then coming up, and there we go. Now it does ask us for the axis of symmetry. And if you ever need to answer that question, basically the axis of symmetry runs straight down the middle of the parabola. Right in the middle here is the negative 1. So for us, the axis of symmetry is x equals minus 1.